What up? I think we're live, Ricky.
It looks like we're live. Yes, I think you're right. Good evening, everyone. Ricky Hurtado here.
And what's up? It's Elaine Townsend Uten.
As you know, we are the co-founders and co-directors of Latinx Ed. So we know we're nearing the end of Giving Tuesday today. But before the day wraps up, Elaine and I wanted to connect with all of you, our community, our beloved community here, to talk a little bit about gratitude. It's something that's been in the air all day, naturally, on a day like Giving Tuesday. But it's also with the outpouring of support that we have felt today. It's easy about expressing gratitude as a singular moment, right? It's something we do only on occasions like Giving Tuesday. But the reality is that at Latinx Ed, we've gotten in a bit of a habit of expressing gratitude as often as possible. I think it's Brene Brown that talks about how we find joy when we are intentional about practicing gratitude. And so we are actually really big believers of practicing gratitude, that our staff and students practice it every day, whether it's in our weekly staff meetings or in the programming that we provide to Latinx Ed participants every week. And so, Elaine, I wonder if you want to talk a little bit about what this looks like in our week-to-week lives.
For sure, for sure. So we do a practice called El Círculo, which translates to the circle. And so we go around and we share two things. And I'm going to back up a little bit and share why we do this, is because it's so important, as Ricky's mentioning, to be able to take those moments to really express gratitude, but also to recognize the complexity of our humanity, especially where we are in a certain moment, and to really reflect deeply. And so we share two things. And so the first thing that we share is a regalo. So that translates to a gift and something that's giving you joy. And that's really where we get to kind of take a moment and express gratitude for the good things in our lives that are happening and that are giving us joy. The other piece is una carga, which translates to a burden or a weight, something that's weighing you down. And part of the reason why we share that too is, again, just acknowledging the complexity of being a human being and the weights that we carry, but also the joy that we carry. So it's a really important practice for us in Latinx Ed to also be centering joy and hope in our work. And so that's a way that we've been able to do that together. So Ricky, speaking of regalos y cargas, do you have any for this year as you reflect also on the work of Latinx Ed?
Yeah, I have a lot actually. I mean, it's been actually really important for me to practice gratitude in what's felt like pretty dark moments for our community across the nation and around the world, right? But I would be remiss if I didn't talk about our staff. If I talked about you, Elaine, it's really been about this village that has really supported us, supported me. I had a bit of a interesting year, right? Trying to juggle life, family, work, and then was crazy enough to run for office. And so none of that would have been possible, right? Without the support of a staff that really treats each other like family, right? We really do talk a lot about familia, and it very much manifests itself in the conversations and the love that you feel in our Slack channel, right? In our emails, sort of in our daily conversations. Parts of this pandemic, we talk about the silver linings often as we think about sort of how we've had to adjust, but it's been tough on all of us, right? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, on what our days look like. And so it's to really be able to redefine community in this moment has been really important for me. And so we've seen that support amongst ourselves, among our students and parents, supporting each other through thick and thin. And also the supporters that have come out for Latinx Ed, not just on Giving Tuesday, but throughout the year that have asked us, what they can do to support. Alumni from previous programs from SLI that have attended cafecitos on a Saturday morning, who does that, right? It really does feel like family. And so it's nice whenever you often frame something as family, but it actually plays out in that way as well. But we know that, with regalos often also come the other side of that, which is cargas. And so, like I mentioned, it's been a heavy year. And the reality is that COVID-19 has really ravaged our community, unlike anything we've seen in recent memory. And the really difficult pill to swallow as all of that is that there's been little to no relief that has come in the form of financial support or worker protections or anything else for immigrant families across North Carolina. We know the perilous position many of our families find themselves already, facing economic insecurity, housing insecurity, and all while trying to help their future first generation college student navigate a new public education system and then get to a place like college. And so it's the structural barriers and the reality that a safety net completely collapse on a whole community, it's tough to really think about where do we go from here. And so it's that burden that so many of our students carry that we recognize as resilience, but also understand that, structural racism is real, right? And our students are facing much tougher barriers than many other students across North Carolina and across the nation. And so the tension of both the carga and the regalo as we move into 2021 is real. And so I definitely see hope in the work of our students, but definitely know that we have a tough road ahead for us.
100%. And I actually share your regalo y carga también. Like, it feels like, I think even thinking about two that I would add, I think for cargas, just there's a lot of change. And I think a lot of newness that has also added a lot of stress on whether that's thinking internally in the team of having to really pivot to this virtual world and like what that means to our students and our families having to also navigate learning in a virtual space and just going through a lot of transition in that process and just feeling that part of the tension of the change, but also not having ready-made resources, especially in learning environments, to really support them in that change. And so that's just been a weight that we've all felt, I think internally in our team too. And I guess to the flip side of that, the regalo is just this willingness to dream at the same time and think about how do we create opportunity in these moments in this time of hardship. And so one example that is a regalo that I keep celebrating is just this opportunity that our team took to launch College y Consejos, which is a virtual college access program serving 11th and 12th grade Latinx students across North Carolina. It's the first time we've ever been able to offer something statewide, and it's been so well received and by our, whether that's counselors to students, to just be able to provide culturally relevant college access support in that journey of applying to college. I still think about it, I'm like, wow, can you imagine being a senior applying to college for the first time in a global pandemic? Like, there's just so many added stress to just a already stressful process. So the fact that our team was able to pivot and create this virtual experience that really centers cultura y comunidad and that process has just been such a life-giving source of awesomeness for our team, and just being able to lean into that creativity and really preserve community in that process, because it's been hard to not be able to have the in-person interactions that we love, whether it's that hug to just that being able to be in each other's physical presence. But we've done our best, I think, in turning that into a virtual world and be able to take the things that we do in person and create a really engaging and loving and caring space online. So that's been some of my regalos y cargas too.
Yeah, and definitely shout out to the specific regalos there, right? College y Consejos team with Alice, with Kiera, with Lena, and with our Somos squad, right? With Jose leading the way there. It's been incredible to work with such talented folks, and so definitely count my blessings every day to be able to work alongside you too, Elaine, because I think in practicing gratitude, right? I think you've shown all of us what that looks like in practice and helped us navigate this pandemic in really different ways. We're in a very different place than we expected, a year ago, but I think that we've all grown because of it. I've really enjoyed engaging in this practice every week, because it's at the end of the day, it's really kept us rooted in our work. And so on this Giving Tuesday, we felt it was important for us to be a little vulnerable, sort of share sort of what we were thinking about, how we're feeling as we end the year. And we felt it appropriate to really share a bit of how we practice gratitude. And so as we wrap up here, I would certainly be remiss if we didn't say thank you to all of you watching, all of you who have donated today, all of you who have supported our work all year. Today, every day this year, for the last 2 years as we've launched Latinx Ed, we truly would not be here today without your support.
100%. And we do have a few hours left, and we would love for you to consider making a donation to Latinx Ed. Your support helps us continue investing in our Latinx youth across the state in North Carolina. So a donation of any size, whether it's $10, $100, whatever, this is helping us turn our students' dreams into action. And that's super meaningful for us.
Absolutely. And so on behalf of everyone here at Latinx Ed, thank you so much for your support. December is just getting started, and so Giving Tuesday is kicking off a full month of us practicing gratitude, saying thank you to all of you, and also sharing a little bit about what we do every day to make sure that we are investing and fostering the next generation of Latinx leaders across North Carolina. So thank you all so much for your support, and we'll see you later on. Good night,
Thank
y'all.
you. And like shameless to extra PS. Okay. Shout out to Ricky. I didn't get a chance to also appreciate you for a second. So I'm taking that moment. But it has been such an honor working with you, and we're so proud of you. This whole year has been such a whirlwind for all of us for a lot of different reasons, you know, COVID, to having to navigate the virtual space, but also for you to be able to really kind of turn this dream that a lot of us have to be able to have representation in our legislation and our legislature in particular. So the fact that you took that leap of faith and was able to turn this dream into reality, it's just a huge win for all of us. And just thank you for being who you are, and the service and the dedication that you have to our community. So thank you, Ricky. It's been a pleasure. We're so happy for you. I'm very proud of you too. So
Thank
anyway,
you. No, thank you.
end of the post.
You would have let me end the live stream here. I just like, I gotta sneak in here. So
yeah, no, it's all good. But yeah, thanks everybody, and thank you, Ricky, and everyone. Thanks again. You know, Giving Tuesday is just, it's one day, but this continues on. So thank you for joining our movement, and the work, you know, continues. So thank you so much.
y'all have a good night. See ya.